Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new workshop of LinkedIn in Big View. Thank you very much for joining. This workshop will be recorded, so all the people that cannot make it right now, don't worry. It will be recorded and published in our social media channels. Furthermore, this workshop is going to be about LinkedIn and how can you can take your LinkedIn to the next level. How can you optimize it? How can you earn money, or how can you get more leads or more connections or anything that you want to monetize in the channel? I'm going to introduce Joyce, which is a lead of LinkedIn generation specialist. So welcome, Joyce. Thank you very
Thank you.
much for being part of this workshop and letting us know how LinkedIn works and how we can take it to the next level.
Certainly. Thank you, Philippe. Thanks for inviting me. And hello, everyone. So, today we're going to talk about LinkedIn lead generation for small businesses. I hope to make this a 30-minute session as useful for you as possible. So, do feel free to pop your questions in the chat box later on, and we'll do our best to answer them. When I finish the presentation. So, yes, so today we're going to be talking about, first of all, three main benefits I see for small businesses to use LinkedIn, to harness the power of LinkedIn to generate leads. And then I'll share with you some top tips for growing, engaging with, and generating qualified leads from LinkedIn. And then finally, I'm just going to show you how we do it. So I'm going to present a short case study with a networking organization, showing you the steps that we take to start generating qualified leads for the organization. So moving on, before I go on to the meat and bones of the presentation, just a little bit about myself. So my name's Joyce Ong. I run a marketing consultancy that delivers affordable app solutions, LinkedIn lead generation, and also SEO, search engine optimization services. So the reason why I'm here today is we have a system which is guaranteed to generate qualified leads from LinkedIn for particular types of businesses. This will work. So I'm here to share with you a little bit about the secrets that we have and what sort of system this is, and the steps we take to achieve that result for small businesses. So first of all, I'm going to share with you three benefits for using LinkedIn. Why do we want to use LinkedIn? Why do you want to spend time on LinkedIn? So first of all, you may know that Google loves LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a highly, highly trusted website, just as Facebook and other social media platforms are. So it's got a what we call a high domain authority there. Google trusts this site, and because Google does trust this site, you may notice that if you have a complete LinkedIn profile, if your LinkedIn profile is optimized, is complete, normally if you do a search on Google with your name, if you key in your name on it, you'll find that your LinkedIn personal profile page will pop up really high on a Google search results. And secondly, with LinkedIn, you can actually do a lot of things for free. For example, you can find decision makers from a wide range of industries there simply by using the filtering function that you have on LinkedIn. So on your LinkedIn page, if you click on the menu and click on your network, you will see a whole list of your first degree connections there. And also at somewhere at the top, you'll see a filtering function. So with a filtering function on your LinkedIn page, you can actually select specific types of people that you want to connect with. So you can select select people based on your job titles, the industries they come from, the type of services that they offer, even the associations they come from, or any clubs that you share. If you belong to the same club, you can search for these people with the name of the club there. So you can search for people in a variety of ways, and that's a really super powerful tool that you can use for free. You don't need to have the paid version of LinkedIn. You can if you want to, of course, if you want a more highly targeted way of searching for people. But with the free version, you can actually achieve quite a lot on LinkedIn already. So, what does this mean? There's no need for you to actually spend advertising money to actually find your target audience, unlike Google pay per click, Facebook advertising, or Instagram ads. So, it's actually a free tool that you can use and you can try out for yourself to find your prospective audience. And the third benefit I'd like to share is LinkedIn has a couple of years ago introduced a whole new suite of really, really super powerful marketing features there. And a couple of years ago, when Microsoft took over LinkedIn, Microsoft has actually instigated a whole raft of new changes there. And these are really super useful features that you can use for your own content marketing on LinkedIn. So some examples are you can create LinkedIn events on LinkedIn and send out invitations to your first degree connections there, inviting them to attend your event. And with your LinkedIn events, you can now link that or integrate that directly into your LinkedIn Live as well. The other feature, which is really exciting and a little bit different to the other social media platforms, is the video cover story. So, what this is essentially if you look at your headshot on your LinkedIn page, you see that a headshot allows you, if you press on the headshot, it actually allows you 30 seconds to record a video of your choice. So, you can chop and change, you can upload any video you like, you can actually tailor your video messaging to the campaign that you're running or the content you're posting. So that's really powerful and it's quite fun to use as well. And of course, you have other features such as LinkedIn polls. So you can run a poll on LinkedIn, and typically that gets you the highest engagement, the quickest and the fastest engagement there is to use the LinkedIn poll. So there's a raft of other features that you can use on LinkedIn. The other thing I want to mention is LinkedIn has also introduced quite recently video messaging as well. So this is something like a Zoom call that you can generate on your LinkedIn inbox. So on your inbox, if you want to set up a call, a one-to-one call, you can use the video messaging feature that is on the inbox as well, or you can use Zoom or Microsoft Teams. So it's really super handy tools that you can use to engage with people on LinkedIn. So, some top tips I'd love to share with you to help you to generate interest, engagement, and without the sales pitch on LinkedIn, of course. And all this you can do using the free version of your LinkedIn account. So, what are the top tips that we have? These are actually tips that has been shared by a LinkedIn editor. So it's not coming from myself, but it is in principles. These are quite basic, sound principles that we can adopt, I would say, when we engage on LinkedIn, when we put out content there on LinkedIn. So, first, let me start by saying that it's good to start and be part of conversations on LinkedIn. So, when you put out content, you get people, if you do get people talking about your content will then show up in more feeds, more of their feeds, and this then fans out to the people who have liked your content or commented on your content. This then fans out to their networks as well. So when you comment on someone else's post, you also reach out to their audience in a reciprocal fashion. So it works both ways. So if people comment on your post or like your post, you then do the same in return for them. And this is how you reach out to their audience as well. So not just to your own first degree connections, but also to their connections as well. And the second one is to focus on the long game. So don't judge success by just one piece of content, or you might just be disappointed. If you try and game the algorithm piece by piece, bit by bit, then you're not going to create great content for human beings. So give yourself some time. Don't be too hard if you're on yourself, and consistently put out content over a period of time. And then you start to see some traction there coming in. So the third thing is to know your audience goals and to create content that will interest that audience. So if you want to reach specific people in a specific industry, remember I was talking about filtering an audience, having a list of people that you want to reach out to, having a clear idea of who your target audience is. So if you want to reach out to these people from a specific industry, professionals, or even local businesses who are local to you, once you have a clear idea of who they are, you can then try to publish content that will talk to them, that will address some of their problems, for example, or familiar business problems, for example, that you might want to put out content. So keep publishing and experimenting. You probably won't get it right the first time, but keep doing it and keep checking the results of it and see how people react to your content there. And don't forget to experiment as you go along. And then when you see something that actually starts a little conversation going, then just do more of that. And lastly, the way we do it to maintain trust online is generally to be consistent over time. And so that's how you gain trust online on social media. So if your followers like your content, for example, if they know what to expect from you because you're always there and you're always consistent, they will then keep clicking on your content if they like it, and they will then comment on it. And when that happens, the algorithms will then keep making sure that these people get your content. So your content is going to pop up on their feed more. So when I say consistency over time, I don't mean that you need to be posting 3 times a day on LinkedIn. It's on the contrary, really. So consistency could be once a week if that's all the time you can afford. It could be 3 times a week. LinkedIn guidelines would normally say try to post once a day if possible. I would say 3 times a week, it's fine. Twice a week is fine. But the key is to be consistent over time. So it's far more important to post consistently every week than to post every day for 4 weeks and then not post for the next 2 months. That's not going to help at all. So I hope that gives you some idea of how you can start to engage and put out content that actually speaks to your audience. So next, I'm going to share with you some top tips to generate qualified leads, but without the selling, the sales pitch, that is. And this applies to B2B and B2C oriented businesses. Both are applicable as well. And again, I would say using the free version of your LinkedIn account, that's possible for you to achieve qualified leads there. But before I go on, there's just a little caveat here. What I'm going to tell you must go alongside a complete LinkedIn profile. So your LinkedIn profile should ideally be optimized, and the content that you create, and that you should be creating content regularly and consistently in order to start engaging with your audience. So these two things must go alongside generating leads from your LinkedIn. So the first step is I would suggest to look at your existing connections to see who's in your connections and to see if some of these connections that you already have do fit your client profile. A lot of it may not, maybe some of it will fit, but it's good to have an idea of the segment of your clients, your connections there. And then the next step is if you want to expand your network, then the next step would be to start inviting second or third degree connections. So these are second degree connections of typically people that you have mutual connections to with your first degree connections there. So you can then start inviting these connections, and always bear in mind that the people that you want to invite intentionally and strategically should ideally fit your audience profile. So you can select these people that you want to send invitations out to. You can filter according to their location, industry, job title, so on and so forth, just as I've described to you earlier. So some of the reasons that you can use to send an invitation to connect could be their local businesses, people who are local to you. They could be your mutual connections. Quite typically, if they're second degree connections that you're reaching out to, you would have some mutual connections there. So that's always a good reason to reach out to them. Or you may be part of a club, a membership group, professional network, in which case that's always a very strong reason to connect with these people whom you share a club or a professional network with. So once you have start building out your network and you start getting more and more of your qualified audience profile, the sort of audience profile that you seek, then you can start to test your offers with this target audience. So some of the things you can do is I would suggest you can start offering value to this group of people. So when I say offering value, it could be creating a useful checklist, a questionnaire, download, or to organize an event even, and to invite some of these people. So remember, at this stage you're testing your offer to see what's applicable to your target audience. You don't know if it works for sure, but it's good to spend a little bit of time crafting the offer, testing it, and rolling out to a small segment of your audience. To do that, I would set up a short LinkedIn direct messaging sequence. So this is kind of similar to an email sequence, except that you normally don't extend it for too long. I would say a series of maybe 2 to 4 DM messages, and of course, don't forget to include your call to action there. So the call to action is, as I've mentioned it earlier, you could request that they they download a checklist, for example, or answer a questionnaire, or download something that's of value to them. And then, of course, do not forget to collect details from those who decide to take up your offer, to sign up for your offer. If you have some existing first degree connections and they do fit your audience profile, then it's always good to start a campaign to re engage with these first degree connections. And you can start a conversation with that and rekindle that conversation that you had with them before. You can get a better response rate from your first degree connections if you run the campaign with them and if they fit your target profile for the campaign. So it is possible for you to get better response depending on the size of your first degree connection and how many of these people actually fit your audience profile. And then lastly, of course, once you've tested your offers and you've tweaked your messaging and you sort of have a reasonably good idea as to what is working in your campaign, you can then roll this out to a wider audience on LinkedIn, people that fit your target audience profile, and of course monitor your campaign performance. And when you do that, to also make sure that you've got a defined sales process in place to first of all convert your qualified leads to sales if they're ready to buy. If these people are ready to buy now from you, it's good to have a sales process in place already. So at this stage, you're not really trying to sell on LinkedIn, but you're actually taking the conversations offline, if that helps. If these people who've signed up or taken up your offer, they're not really ready to buy from you, you could then continue to engage with them either via email or on LinkedIn itself, since you found them on LinkedIn, or using the other channels, marketing channels that you may have, just to nurture your mailing list and to keep the relationship going. So these are the steps in a nutshell that I would take to run a LinkedIn lead generation campaign there. So lastly, last but not least, I'd like to share with you a case study or an example of a campaign that we have run recently, last year in October, November last year. And this is for a networking club. So the goal for this networking club, the brief that they had was to try and consistently get new visitors to their weekly networking meetings with the aim of taking up paid membership to their networking club. So that was the goal of that exercise. So we ran a LinkedIn campaign, several campaigns actually over a period of 2 months, and we reached out to 2,260 new connections. So this is a campaign targeted outreach campaign targeted at new connections, second or third degree connections on LinkedIn. And during this time, we sent out a direct messaging sequence consisting of 4 messages on LinkedIn to these connections. Of course, we did not send out all these messages to 2,000 people all in one go. These campaigns were run over a period of 2 months there. So during these campaigns, we were not selling anything. We were just offering them a free visit to a networking meeting to come and visit the club members there, and also the chance to be able to receive business through the networking club. So that was the offer to them. And so the call to action was a landing page asking them to sign up to attend the meeting. So of the campaigns that we ran, 29% or 655 people accepted the invitation to connect. So remember, these are second or third degree connections on LinkedIn. So 29% of the connections accepted the invitation to connect. And out of the 2,260 people, there were 2.2% or 50 people who actually signed up to visit the networking meeting there. So that's quite an average response. You would expect with new connections, an average of between 1% and 3% of the people that you send out messages to, you reach out to, would actually take up the offer. So we had generated 50 qualified leads in total over a period of 2 months. So these are small business decision makers who are interested in attending the weekly meetings. And so far, we've got 2 members who have signed up, paid up members, and there's one in a pipeline as well. So these are the results of that campaign that we've run for the networking club. This is the end of my talk. I hope that's been helpful for you. So the next step is, if you would like to reach out to us, if you'd like a bit more help with LinkedIn lead generation, happy to get in touch and give you some advice there. Or you can scan the QR code below to take our scorecard. So it's a series of 14 questions that we have devised for you in order to help you gain some useful insights on where LinkedIn fits in your sales process in your business. So if you'd like to fill in a quiz, the 14 question quiz, then do scan the QR code now, and I look forward to being in touch with you. Thank you very much for watching. I'll stop sharing the slides now.
Thank you, Joyce. Thank you very much. Right now, I'm in it's our QA session. So if anybody that has any question based on the presentation or any question about LinkedIn is the right time to ask. By the time that we wait for the questions, thank you very much, Joyce. I mean, how long does it take this process from a person, let's say, that's starting on LinkedIn? How long does it take, like, for example,
The
to
campaign to run a campaign. I think there are two things that a business would need to have before we can start running campaigns for generating business from it. So the first thing is they need to have a complete profile on LinkedIn. So they need to fill in every single section on LinkedIn and make sure that what they put on LinkedIn actually is appropriate to the target audience that they want to reach out to. The second step is to put out content. Of course, it sounds really obvious, but you can't really start DMing people if you haven't got anything on your LinkedIn profile, or your last seen post was more than 90 days ago. That's not going to look credible. So once you've got the content, the profile set up, the content is going consistently, then you can start to generate leads in a campaign. So I would say the average campaign takes 2 to 3 months minimum for you to start seeing some results there. So that includes time it takes to tweak the messaging, tweak the offer, and testing it, and actually rolling out to a full audience.
Amazing. We actually got a question. Should we create original content or sharing content works?
Should we create original content or sharing? Okay. You could share content if you're referring to sharing other people's content. You could do that. Although I'm not 100% sure about the LinkedIn algorithm. I don't think anyone is 100% sure about that. Sharing a post generally doesn't get you that much traction as compared to putting out a post coming from you with an image or a video that you want to attach. With LinkedIn, you can actually get away with not even posting any images or any videos on so long as the copy that you write, and you can write long form copy in LinkedIn. These long form copy works superbly well on LinkedIn, so long as the copy that you write, content that you write, actually speaks to your audience and it's coming from you. If that helps, if that makes sense. So I would go with posting your original content. You can repurpose content that you have, of course, from your other social media platforms if they are appropriate to a LinkedIn audience. I hope that answers your question. Let me know if it hasn't.
Actually, we didn't got any. I mean, yeah, he say thank you.
Oh, okay, that's great.
Now we have another question. Let me just put it here.
Hmm. Hi, Karen. So Karen says, do videos or photos have more traction rather than just text posts? That's a good question, really. I think we've had mixed results, so I'm not 100% sure on that, Karen. I think I'm part of a group and we do experiment with posting. I would say, in general, images catch people's attention and videos, of course. So I wouldn't say to stop posting videos or stop posting images if you do that already. But occasionally, if you have a really good content that you write, really good copy that you write that resonates with your audience, that can get you as much traction as well. And don't forget to tag people, because that typically gets you a faster response. If you tag someone who you think the content is relevant to, not talking about spam tagging, but people that you think that content would resonate. And of course, use polls are still the number one LinkedIn feature to use that gets you engagement fastest. People love clicking on polls and giving you their votes, even though they may not comment on it, but they love clicking on it. I don't know why. I guess it's human psychology. So it's so easy for them to like and give you a vote there, and that would increase traction and get instant engagement for your content.
Actually, is that I do that every day. I actually click on polls that I see on the
Yes,
newsfeed.
exactly.
So you got a case study here.
Yeah, that helps. Yeah, that helps. Having said that, the algorithm can change. So what applies today, unfortunately, may not apply in a month's time. It may be something else that LinkedIn has moved on to. So it's always a cat and mouse game, isn't it?
Amazing, thank you, Joyce. For now, we don't have any other new questions. Let's wait a little bit, but actually, a lot of people were thanking you, so I'm just gonna put it
Oh, you're
here.
welcome. I'm glad. I hope that helps. Thank you very much.
Everybody was saying thank you, and it was very informative, and it was really great content. So it's up to all these people that were here on the live, and also they say Karen
Thanks,
say
Karen.
thank you.
Thanks, Karen. Karen's from LinkedIn, so yay.
So actually, we got people on LinkedIn that watched the live stream.
We do actually. Yeah, yeah. So, well, thank you for inviting me, Philip. That's been quite an experience. I don't know if I didn't mention this. I can mention it now. This is my first time doing LinkedIn Live and also on Big View as well. So, thanks for inviting me. It's a good experience for me.
Amazing. I mean, I'm glad it was your first experience. Actually, it was a successful one. There was a lot of people that actually stay all along the presentation, and it was very useful and straight to the point. And you keep it very short, so that's amazing. So congratulations. And Joyce, we invite you to actually present another topic about LinkedIn in the near future.
That'll be great. Yeah, I'd love to do that. Now that I've done this already, I'm no longer a newbie. Thanks, Philip.
Amazing. So before we disconnect, actually, I want to share a promo and show you that right now with Big View, you can actually live stream on LinkedIn. So if you, like, let's say for example you have a message that you want to convey to your audience, or you want to actually talk about a new product, and you can actually download BigView, write a script, and then shoot yourself reading the script with the teleprompter live on LinkedIn. So I'm just gonna throw the promo here, and the live stream will be over. So thank you very much, Joyce, and thank you everybody for being part of this event. It will be recorded and available on YouTube, LinkedIn, and soon this week on Instagram. Thank you very much, and all of you have a great week. Thank you, Joyce.
Fabulous. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Thanks for being here.
Know what to say with the BigView teleprompter. BigView is the first teleprompter to stream live to LinkedIn and other social networks. Just hit on live and connect in real time with your audience. It could not be easier.
Always know what to say with BigView.